stepped on her toe. What part is this? 4? Part 4. Heartbeat getting faster. I grabbed his arm and I tried to make him run with me, but he grabbed me and he held me still. And he looked me in the eyes and he told me,
"Do you remember your name?"
And that was the moment that I realized that I didn't. I had no idea who I was or how I ended up in the woods in the first place.
He just nodded and told me, and asked me, "What do you see?"
I looked at him like he was stupid. I see the same thing that you see. I see darkness, and I see these blank walls, and I see this shadow that is staring at us from the corner of our eyes. And he looked at me, sad.
I pushed him away and told him not to look at me like that.
Because I'd remembered that he'd looked at me like that before, I just couldn't place when.
For some reason, he apologized to me.
He said he'd never wanted it to have to be this way, but that I've left him no other choice.
That's when I felt 2 pairs of hands grab onto my arms.
And I looked down, seeing a needle. Confused, I looked back up at my brother and I asked him, "What are you doing?"
My brother avoided eye contact, just staring down at his shoes and messing with his fingers. And then I looked over, seeing a man in a white coat.
Yeah, I told you we were going the same place. I did. We didn't plan this. Is that it? Yeah. That's when the walls started to change. We weren't in an abandoned castle. We were in a hospital of some sort. Yep, that's it.
There's no shadow staring at me anymore. Just a bunch of nurses.
But one of them stood out. The one that I felt was the shadow. Before the nurses pulled me away, I looked at her and I asked, "Who are you?" Shut up, dogs, you're ruining everything. Resume.
I'm your fiance.
Bah! Bah! That's when I noticed the visitor's badge on her shirt. And I looked down at my own clothes. And I noticed I was in a straitjacket. And I looked at her, and the tune that was playing on the piano replayed through my head, and I realized what it was.
The song that she had written for me.
She said that whenever I started to feel lost again, I just needed to listen to it. And she hoped it would lead me back to sanity. Dude, this got deep.
She began to cry, and all I wanted to do was give her a hug. But the doctors still kept taking me away.
Voice is gone. I looked at my brother, and I asked him to help me, but he said, "I'm sorry. You've left me no other choice." So I asked him, "Why am I here?" Those freaking dogs. That's not why. No, that was not part of it.
Before he could give me an answer, the doctors took me out of the room and down the hallway.
Deciding I didn't want to go wherever they were taking me, I started kicking my feet and flailing. But whatever the needle was in my arm was starting to kick in, and I was becoming weaker. So I looked up at one of the nurses and I asked, "Why am I here?" And they looked at me and they said with a hollow voice, "Don't act like you don't remember."
I was confused as they pushed me into the tiny white room. So then I asked again, why am I here?
They looked at me, and the other one said, you keep talking about these woods, yet you can't remember what happened in them.
Still not able to remember. Tears formed in my eyes as I asked, what happened?
The first nurse that I spoke to looked at me, disgust in his eyes, and he said, think really hard about that night in the woods. And he shut the door and he left. So the other day, I was walking in the woods.
And I came across a castle. And it looked abandoned.
Okay, so now, in the comments,
Tell us what he did in the woods.
just keep it going. One sentence at a time. One sentence at a time.
Gosh.
Because we want to know the end of the story.
We don't know.
We literally just made it all up. All just now. So, the end. But not really. It's time for dinner now. Yay! How do I do that? I was a ninja!
Do you know over the
Yes, I was a ninja monkey! Okay, ninja monkey. That should have been my channel.